Alright guys, welcome back to the Real Gentleman YouTube channel at the Hunter Collective. Today we've got Adam in the chair. Hi. And he has asked for quite a high skin fade and then a kind of short, kind of texture, should we say a crop in a sense, but enough so we can still put in a little bit of, he uses a bit of gel actually. We spoke about this earlier, quite an interesting fact I'll speak in a minute. But he likes to put a little bit of gel on the top and have it a little bit messy, so that's what we thought we'd go for today. But again, the focus being on, he wears it 3 different ways throughout the course of it growing out. So as it is when it's freshly cut, so nice and up, nice and off his face, nice and textured, and then as it starts to grow a bit longer, he pushes it over. Now, with Adam's fringe, he's got quite a strong kind of growth pattern at the front where you can see it it's got a bit of a widow's peak. So what a widow's peak is where it comes down to a kind of point here, and then it kind of grows up and over to one side. And as you can see, even without anything in this, it still comes over to one side. So these are things that you want to work with within the haircut itself. So again, if he's going to wear it up, I'm not going to try and force it to go from his right to his left hand side. I'm going to work with what he's got. But the beauty of what he said as well is that as it grows out, he wears it over to one side when it gets a bit longer, and then it gets really long, he pushes it all the way back. But we were talking about product use, and Adam said you're from France, right? In France, they use gel, and that's like a very, very popular product. Did you say, yeah? Is it the most popular product?
Maybe, yes.
Right. So that's, I mean, I still use gel, but I use gel in a different way. I use gel to set the style. So I would use it more like a base product. So what we say with the base product is something we use as we're going to dry the hair. So give you an example of, I switch a gel for a salt spray. So as you've probably seen from the other videos, we spray it in when it's damp and then we style it. So the thing with gel, it's got memory hold. So it will stay as you style it for good, basically, right? And especially the good gels don't go flaky as well. We're going to cut it short enough so that you can wear his gel and it stands up, and then obviously as it goes out, you can still use the same product but style it differently, which I think is awesome. I do actually genuinely think it's awesome. So we'll give it a wash and a condition, and then we'll start, pick the length on top together, and then we'll work on the top and we'll work down to the fade down the bottom. What? Right, so I have now shampooed and conditioned this. The reason why I do that is because it's a good blank canvas for me to see exactly what's been cut previous. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top and pick my length. Adam's happy to lose a fair amount. So again, a nice short crop, enough texture in there to be able to play around with it. So that's a good indication of how much to lose. It's probably about half the length, maybe a tiny bit more than half of what he's got, especially towards the front. Again, through the back you want to leave it probably a little bit long, because it looks a little bit shorter than the front. So be careful of that, but I'm going to start at the back and work towards the front. I'm taking nice small sections to this. Now again, because we're going shorter, smaller the section. If we're keeping more length in it, we take a wider section. So because we're going nice and short a crop, I want to take shorter sections. So I'm going to take off probably just a bit before half at the back. It's a little bit short from the front. I'm going to work on quite a nice angle to cut into it, so it's still making it quite choppy, but I'm still removing length. And his hair is very straight. So it's quite a sort of medium texture. It's not fine, it's not too thick. I'm quite jealous really, because this is how I like my hair to be, this kind of texture, because you can basically do whatever you want with it, where mine's kind of limited because it's so thick, which I know I'm not complaining that I've got thick hair, but again, I think the grass is always greener, right? So I can imagine Adam can get away with quite a lot of different styles where I'm kind of stuck with this one. A bit more length coming through here now, which is good. So I'm essentially going to try and keep this a very similar length all the way through to the fringe, but again, just leaving that fringe a tiny bit longer, just give it a nice bit of shape for the profile. And also you want to leave a bit of length in there that you can still texturise as well. Follow my guide. I'm going to take one more, I'm going to angle it forward from the fringe and just cut into the end there as well. And there's my middle section done now. I'm going to follow this round either side, and then we'll work down towards our fade. And now, because I don't want the sides and the back nice and tight, I'm going to work following the head shape, because I'm going to create the squareness with the blend on the sides and the clip away. So I'm going to follow the head shape round. Again, going nice and short. It's kind of hard to try and create squareness to the top if you're taking it quite short, otherwise you end up with a bit of a corner. And as it grows out, you have a bit of a longer length here that there's nowhere to live, there's nowhere to sit anywhere in the haircut. So for longevity of Adam's haircut, I want to try and follow the head shape and create squareness with the clip away more than with the section through the top. So now I'm working on the side, keep my fingers completely parallel to the other side, completely flat on his head but completely straight, and I'm doing very, very small sections. And there's not going to, much isn't going to come off really, but this is just setting the guide for the clipper work, so I know exactly where the sides, where to come off with the number 2, for example. I'm going to stop just at the section at the back there. Now I've got my section from the middle. I'm going to work to the side now, just off the centre. Here's my guide. You can see a lot more lengths coming through here now. That's fine. Staying true to my guide, so I'm not going to make mistakes. Picking that fringe up. Got my guide. Fingers are resting on the round of his head. I'm just working along my finger. Put that corner in. Again, the same thing in now on the side. Fingers nice and straight. And there's that side one. You can lift it up and check as well. As you see, if I'm bringing that up with my comb, all working out to be the same length as well. Fringe will be slightly longer, again, unless I bring that right forward is when I'll cut it. Don't forget the head dips down. So I'm going to put the fringe now and balance it to the top. So got my fringe between my fingers, and I'm looking for the guide, which is just underneath there. So that's the guide that I lifted forward from earlier. And bring my fingers forward, put my third finger out, rest my scissor on it, and cut it to my finger. So one good way, again, I get a few messages on Instagram and stuff, and they always wonder how you don't cut your finger. So what you do is, as you cut it, you pull away as you're cutting the hair as well. So you don't go in and cut, you pull away as you cut. So again, any new barbers out there learning to point cut, just remember you don't sort of cut as you go in, you cut as you're pulling out. And that's how you don't cut your fingers. I'm going to slide into the hair. I'm going to bring it across to one way, slide the razor on an angle, and just slide in sections. That'll force the hair that way. And as it's across, slide down. And cutting loads of different angles in there, not reducing length, which is a key point, because the length's already cut in. I'm just trying to create, like, remove bull, thin it out slightly, and then I'll work down to the roots and slide up. Now this is so good for Adam's texture of hair. It's also good, so good for this kind of style as well, because I'm literally almost like using it like a pencil, and I'm kind of creating the shape that I want to create. And then just going to work all the way back, and as it's up, I'll work through it as well. As you can see, the length's still there, but I'm creating loads of choppy movement in there as well. I'm going to dry all this off now. I'm going to work on the fade as well now. So I'm just looking to dry this off. I'm not looking for style, but as I'm doing this, I'm starting to feel the texture. So you can see without anything in this, his hair is starting to really move around as well. So there's already texture in there without anything in it at all. So I always think, if there's texture now, what will his gel create for him? It'll create even more texture. So you like it to be completely skin on the back and side, yeah? And do you like it fairly high as well? Do you like it high on the back and sides, yeah? So roughly to about, say, about there? Yeah, sweet. So starting on the back and sides, I'm going to start on my number 2. Again, I always start with the number 2 just because I find it much easier to blend and create shape with. So I'm going to start with my number 2, blend that in first, and then start to work from the baseline of the 0, and then blend that in up to the top as well. So my number 2. Again, we're going to sort of fairly high kind of short texture here, so I'm going to work it up, not too high up to the crown, just want to create the squareness around it. So I'm just thinking, I've got my guide from here, I need to drop it down to the back. Again, the back of his head doesn't, his occipital bone doesn't like protrude out or nothing like that. It seems perfectly normal, to be honest. So I'm going to work it just a bit higher than that and create the squareness from the back here. So not removing too much of the crown, but just allowing me to create squareness to the back. Starting through here. I'm working it up and off. Now again, following this motion, it starts to help to blend the hair anyway, as it does. This is your number 2. So I kind of work it up and off, and it starts to limit how much blending I need to do too. So I'm working up to my guide from before. Now with that length there, I can still work that up and off the head and create that squareness. This height is good for the blend. So we've got 2 different blends in here. Remember, we've got the blend from the 0 to this line here, and then we've got this line into the top. So it's 2 different blends we're doing, but we're going to focus on this blend first and then focus on the other blend after. So I'm going to start the blend from the 2 into the top now. That allows me to focus on the fade from the back and sides now. Start on the back, going to work up to the point where I'm going to keep it nice and square and cut that. So again, we're not taking too much off the crown area to create this nice square shape. Always want to comb that fringe out the way so you don't cut into it. Now there's certain bits that I'm going to pan over. This side seems to grow out a little bit more than the other side. So again, I want to make it look even. So I'm switching up the actual blending technique and working down. That side's alright. There we go. So I'm going to work on my face. I'll put my baseline in now. We'll start by the sideburn. And so we're looking at like a fairly medium height skin fade here. And then just remember to dip it as we get to the back. I'm not looking to take it too high towards the back. Again, just underneath the occipital bone at the back. There we go. I've done it just past the back here, and I'm going to match it up to the other side now. Now, a visual check of that is looking like that's pretty even, but I want to do another check in the mirror as well, because the thing is, not everyone's temples are even in length. So what if I start here and I'm taking to a certain height of the hairline here, the other side isn't always even. So I'm just rest any finger, middle, index, whatever, on that side, and then rest it on that side and then just put it out straight. And just make sure that's even. Now that looks a little bit higher than that side, so I'm going to move over, and I'll take it a touch higher up, only a touch. But again, it's the kind of same way you measure like a sideburn, for example. It's the same way you do when you're doing a fade. So always check that both sides are even, because I had to dip that side down a lot more than I did that side, and that can sometimes put you off a little bit. But as long as it's measuring up straight and it's visually looking straight, you're all right. So I'm just going back over it now. I'm going to work on my minis now. So this is going to blend the minis into the 0. I'm starting from my line here. I'm going to work up into the 0. I'm just going to shape that and just detail that a little bit more. Just give a nice clean finish to the blend. Now just around the very bottom, I'm going to foil. And just blend that nicely down the bottom. And now I'm going to work on blending in skin to our number 2 length. So I'm going to start with a 1.5. I'm going to start about here. So my number 2 was here, and at 1.5 is going to start a little bit below. I'm working down to a 1, just a little bit above the line. I'm working that into the 1.5. And 1.5 start off. Work on my half now and work that into my 1. And then working it into 0.25 and then back to my 0 and flicking off on the line. So as you can see, that's knocking that line out nicely. And then again, just working, imagine that line is still there at 0.25, just along that line. And then I always nip back to just a little bit before the 0 and just work over that line, just at the corner of my clippers. And it just gives a nice fine tune to it as well. Always take a little bit more time towards the back, because this tends to be the thickest point. So this can be where them sort of imperfections can stay. I'm just going to open my half guard just to perfect. So I'm going to open it wide so completely the lever's pulled down. And I'm going to just use the corner of that, because this is nice between a sort of 0.5 and a number 1. So any of the little darker patches you might see, just go over them with the corner. Work over it a few times, because the guard is quite small, so it won't always feed the hair through the teeth. And then same idea that we did before with the 0, or the 0 and the half. Just work like sort of slowly through the guard, and that way you get every single bit of the imperfection, and it makes that fade really nice and crisp. And pay quite a lot of attention to the back. It tends to be a lot thicker here. It's just nice, you want to make sure you're working every little bit through here, the angle and everything. So I'll probably go back over the 1 just to make sure, and then I'll just finish off with a bit of scissor over comb to perfect through the back especially. So I'm going to go back over with the 1, just to double check, with the 1.5 first. And just work down again, using the guard, just on the areas that you see you might want to just improve on and just kind of perfect. And the fade is about consistency, so if you're keeping a consistent pattern of the technique, the fade will stay consistent as well. Now the rest of that I'll go over with scissor over comb. I'm going to blend this beard in that. It's got quite a lot of length on there, so I'm going to probably start the fade from about here and blend it in. So I know 1.5, teeth facing me, so it gets it a little bit more longer. Over now to the half. Again, put the teeth flat against it. Takes it a little bit longer. And just work down through the lever. So I get to my 0. And then I'll go over that with mini clippers in a minute. And just turn that half around and skim it over as well. Same thing on this side. Number 1. And a half. And that was my 0. Just work through the guard. And now I just use the corner in a jaggedy motion and break that up. And I'll just detail a little bit there as well.
As we go over this foil line, the teeth facing towards me, it just gets that nice little line out there. Not much of a line, but just a little one. So I'm going to finish with some scissor over comb just to perfect that blend. So working through different combs, I'm starting on my size 5 comb, which is about a number 2. I'm just going to work up into that blend and perfect. As you can see, a little bit of length coming through here now. Again, keeping that nice square shape. We'll move to smaller comb. We'll make on, this goes down to a 1.5. Sometimes you push hard enough, a 1. Back onto my size 5. Just working on that 1.5 into the 2. My 2 into the top. We're starting with a 2 first. I'm working that into the top. And then working my smaller comb. There we go. And then we'll work from the crown into the blend. Now you'll see a lot of length come through in and out. And pull this round. And just make sure that you cross check the section before. And just give that a little bit of a point cut just to create a little bit of texture in there. And now this side here will be a lot longer because obviously the crown is here and there's a lot more space through here. So what I do is I pick it up scissor over comb and I cut in this way, especially when it's shorter. As you see, that little section through there is quite long. That's what we left earlier on. And then you continue that all the way down just to break it up. I'm just cutting into this now, quite chunky cuts to really break up the ends. So again, thin this out as well. Get your crown in, as you can see, the little corner there. And bring this in, cut through. Nice and chunky texture. And then I'm going to finish off by cutting into the fringe as well, just to break it all up. A nice straight angle. So all you're perfecting, always do that when you finish the cut. There you go. How's that info for you, mate? Alright? Amazing. Thank you, Matt. Right, so that is done. Now, I don't have a gel, but what I said to Adam was that he knows what a wet look looks like in his hair. So, because I've got the Regal Gentleman Matte Clay, I just said, do you want me to show you a drier finish? And he seemed quite keen about that. So, I'm going to show Adam now a variation of look that he can gain from the same haircut. So again, it's something that's quite nice. If you don't have the product you're looking for, if you've got something that you've never tried before, give it a go beforehand. So especially if you're in the barber chair, if you've got something you like, always say to them, I've never tried a paste, so let me see what that looks like in my hair as well. Because at least then, you don't have to buy it without looking what it looks like. So I'm going to use the matte crown today, that's alright. So again, all you need on this, it's very different to your gel, right? Again, it is a solid white paste, right? All you do with this, use a very little amount of it. So I always say like a peanut size, all right? And then work that through into your hand, and you'll feel it warm up as you rub it, all right? So again, it's very different to a gel. Work it through, and then rub it in like a shampoo. Again, you should do the same process of rubbing the product in like a shampoo, because then you coat all the hair, especially more so with a gel, because you get loads at the front and it can be quite dry at the back, so make sure you rub all that in. So again, same idea with any product as well. With that right through, into the blend, all over, and then style as you like, alright? So actually it's a very different look, isn't it, that we normally get with the paste and that you get with the gel. It's more clumpier, more natural. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it looks good. And then you can just play around it yourself then as well. But again, super easy to wash out your hair. It stays in all day, it stays the same look as well. And the reason why I stress about rubbing it in like a shampoo is because if you coat all the hair, it will last longer. Because the problem is sometimes a lot of guys, and I mean I've been guilty of it in the past as well, is that I just do this, and then I kind of do this, and then I leave it. But actually, you want to rub it all the way through, like this, and then style high up here. And that way it will last longer, alright? So I've had this in since like, at 7:30 this morning, and it's still staying up, you know what I mean? And this is the mat plate, so, and that's it, finished, mate. Happy?
Happy, yes.
Yeah, sweet man, the smile says it all. Awesome. So to recap, what we did was we cut the length down to probably about half of what Adam had. So you're looking at probably, say, 1.5 inches at the front and a tiny bit shorter throughout. So we found the length that we like, we worked together on that one. And then I added the razor to it to create texture. So working it from left to right, up, down, working it right through just to create and break up texture in the hair. Because Adam's hair is kind of like, it's not thick, it's not thin, it's kind of like a medium texture, it moves around, it's got quite a prominent kind of growth pattern at the front where it kind of moves over to one side. So you have to work with that. I don't want to break that up too much, I want to work with that. So we just texturise in a way that would make it very easy for them to style and also grow out well as well. And then we work down to a skin fade on the back and sides as well. So put my 2 in first, then my baseline of the 0, mini clippers up to the 0, and then just fade it up and out. And then just perfected it with a bit of scissor over comb just to get rid of any of the dark patches. And then we started with the Regal Gentleman matte plate. Again, a bit of a different look for Adam, but I think it works well, man. I like it. Looks good. So again, it's something that he's seen now that he can try a different product if he likes as well. Or he can also go back to his gel if he likes to. So, all done. Thank you very much, man. You're welcome, mate. So to see more of this tutorial and a few more others that we've done as well, head to the Patreon channel in the description below.